Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, August 14th, 2015. I am Dave Biddle, and I am joined by Steve Hellwagon. Steve, Isaiah Prince became the first Buckeye freshman to have his black stripe removed yesterday. I was curious which of the 5 true freshman offensive linemen was really going to stand out to the coaching staff. I don't know why I was a bit surprised to hear it was Prince when Ed Warner told us the other day that he kind of thought Ed Prince was out in front of the rest, because Prince was the highest rated of the offensive linemen. I think this is good news. This guy's obviously not going to start as a true freshman, but it looks like he's going to be on the 2 deep, maybe backing up right tackle. Jamarco Jones would be the first tackle in. But, Isaiah Prince, this is very good news that he's really piqued the interest of the coaching staff.
I agree, Dave. You saw him, obviously, the days that we were able to watch, and then certainly, when he checked in, he just cast a shadow. He's like an athlete, 6'7", 305, more, just very lean. And I would have to say that probably translated to the football field the first few days and led the coaching staff to put him in position. You know how this whole process works. They say, okay, this is your spot, and then he has to win a one-on-one battle or something. At least that's how it was last year. So he took advantage of it and it seems that he is the first one of this great incoming freshman class to have his stripe removed. I guess the speculation is now who would be next, and that's a heck of a question, I'd say.
Yeah, because usually we see a walk-on or something get their black stripe removed per year. I think last year was Joe Ramstadter. That could have been 2 years ago. Walk-on wide receiver Joe Ramstadter was the first. Now, Urban Meyer's first year it was Devon Bogard, so it's not always a walk-on. It was Bogard the first year. It was Prince this year, so it's not always a walk-on. But a couple of years it's been a walk-on. It's tough to guess. I would guess Justin Hilliard or Jerome Baker, but that just seems so obvious as being two highly recruited guys, highly rated guys. But I don't think either one of those guys are going to redshirt, so I would guess it's going to be one of those two. I'll go with Justin Hilliard. That's going to be my guess, Steve.
That's a very good guess, Dave. What? Yeah, he's probably one of the better players in that class, no doubt. If I had to put a guess on it, let me see. Maybe a Devon Hamilton or a Robert Landers. I'm going to go that way since they need some help at defensive tackle. That maybe they'll push one of those guys to the front of the list. But Hilliard's probably a pretty good guess.
Yeah, well, I like your idea with Landers there too, because I think he's going to play right away, and they definitely need defensive tackles more than they need linebackers. Because as good as Hilliard and Baker are, right now they are third-team linebackers. That's when you know that you're stacked, is when those guys are third-team linebackers. So they're still going to play all over special teams, though, in my opinion. All right, switching gears. Taylor Decker, I had a chance to catch up with him recently and ask him about the Virginia Tech loss last year. And I think he really believes this. I don't think he's just blowing smoke. He thinks it was a good thing, to the point where he said he didn't think the Buckeyes would have won the national championship if they didn't suffer that loss to Virginia Tech. He thinks they would have lost another game later in the year. They would have been too late to rebound from that loss, and they would not have even made the college football playoff. Give me your thoughts about that. Do you agree with him? Just your takeaway from Taylor Decker saying that he didn't think they would have won the national championship if they didn't lose to Virginia Tech last year.
Well, yeah, I think that it certainly was a moment where the team kind of came correct, and it was just a sloppy, messy game on all sides. I mean, you give up the 4 touchdowns on defense plus the pick 6, and then you allow 7 sacks, 3 interceptions on offense. You'd have a hard time beating a MAC team if you allowed those things to happen. So yeah, I think it was definitely something that shook everybody to the core. And, as I wrote in the book that I did on the season, no one panicked. I mean, it was get right back to work and let's get this thing fixed. And to their credit, they didn't let it happen again. I mean, obviously the Penn State game went into double overtime. was a situation, where they could have let that one slip. But other than that, they handled their business pretty well the rest of the way. So, that was probably the single game that probably came the closest to going the other direction. Other than that, they played pretty much lights out the rest of the way. So, I think that I would agree with him that sometimes you have to have that moment where you can't take it for granted. And you think about, even going into this year, great, you might get to 13-0, you might win the Big Ten championship, but then in the playoffs, if you get there in the Final Four, you're going to be playing a great team. I mean, you're not going to be playing just an average team. Like last year, they played Alabama and then Oregon, the two best teams in the country during the regular season. And, you better have your stuff straight. And, I think that loss to Virginia Tech helped them refocus, let's just say, what they needed to get done.
Absolutely. And Taylor Decker also takes umbrage with the idea that Ohio State's offensive line got dominated that game. He said, well, just to be clear, we weren't losing many one-on-one battles. It wasn't like we were lining up and our guy was beating us. Virginia Tech was just bringing one more defender than we had blockers. If we had 5 guys blocking, they'd bring 6. If we had 6 blocking, they'd bring 7. So it's curious to get his take on that Virginia Tech game, both as far as saying the offensive line really wasn't as bad as people thought, and he doesn't think that the Buckeyes would have even won the national championship if they didn't have that experience. All right, finishing up the show here, I want to let the listeners know, the first 4 periods of Ohio State's practice is open this morning. We will have video on the site later today. Also, Media Day is Sunday, where every player and every assistant coach and head coach Urban Meyer will be available. So Media Day is Sunday at the WAC, so that's going to be a huge day for coverage on Bucknuts. Also, Steve Hellwagon's book, Undisputed Champions. Steve, tell the listeners how they can buy your outstanding book, Undisputed Champions.
Well, you can go on Bucknuts and hit a search for Undisputed Champions, and you'll find all the information there. 132 pages, full color, and recapping the national championship run. And I have not had one single negative comment yet about the book, which I think is a victory in and of itself, Dave. So I'm pretty happy with how this is all worked out, and believe me, this is a great gift for the Buckeye fan on your list. You can also send a check for $20 plus $3 postage to Steve Hellwagon, P.O. Box 34, Tascala, Ohio 43062, and we'll get your book right out to you. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I think that this would be a great addition to your Buckeye collection.
Beyond hearing any negative comments about it, you're hearing nothing but positive comments. I know everybody loves the book. I love the book. So if you're out there and you haven't bought the book, buy the book. Buy it for yourself. Buy it for a gift. Buy it for yourself and for a gift. Buy a couple of books. Buy 3 books. Buy 5 books. Make sure you pick up Steve's book. And if you're not a Bucknuts subscriber, try our 30-day free trial. What a great time to try our 30-day free trial. It takes you through all the way through camp and the first 2 games of the season. So try our 30-day free trial if you're not a Bucknuts subscriber. Thanks to Steve Hellwagon, and thanks to the listeners out there. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the show. I hope you have a great day and a great weekend. Play the Buckeye swag, best damn band in the land.